Okay, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk a little bit about school buses. When I got at the school bus, I did try to do my homework, trying to find out what I need in a school bus and this type of stuff. I'm not going to try to tell you what you need in a school bus, but I will tell you the things you need to look for that I wasn't aware of when I bought this thing. And through the time now, I've done a lot of work on it and fixing it up. So I'm going to bring to your attention some of the stuff you need to look at when you are looking to buy a school bus. Doesn't matter if you're buying one that's already fixed up or buying one in an auction somewhere. This is the kind of stuff you need to look for. Now I'm going to do it in parts, but like I say, I'm going to start showing you all the different things to look for. Okay, now first, here on the back of a school bus is where you're going to find the rust. Rust is the first thing that shows that your school bus is going to have problems. Yeah, your rust is going to be on the back here, and you're going to find it right along here. Right along here you're going to find rust, and then all along in here you start looking for the rust. And you see I've even got some right up there on top. You see it? Now it's not that bad, but it is rust. And I say, so you need to look for this stuff so you know what you're getting into. You're not going to get a perfect bus, but look for the stuff that you know you can deal with. Now I bought this in the winter time, so I don't really have, the weather isn't proper for doing any body work and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not going to be able to do too much with that. Okay, now I went on and put a trailer hitch on here. The trailer hitch is plenty strong enough to do what I need to do. I thought I was going to do some towing, but I don't think I'm going to now, because this is an awful big bus. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But I say, it does make a good step, make it easy to get in and out. Okay, another thing you need to look for. You're going to need to look for tires. The condition of the tires. Tires are going to run about $1,200 for a set of tires. Now normally in the back you have recaps, and that's what you're going to find on the back. Look for the wheels. You don't want split rim wheels. See, these are just all solid rim, and you'll see them with a little line right there, and that'd be a split rim. You don't want a split rim. You want to stay away from those. Okay, same thing on the front. Look for, now this, you're always going to have good new tires on the front, no retreads. And you see these right here are probably got less than 50% left on these tires. So, but that's something I know I'm going to have to be spending some money on tires one of these days. So that's something you need to consider when you're looking at buses, or yeah, the tires on buses. You really need to start watching for windows. Look at all your windows, make sure there's no cracks, look around it, make sure there's no leakage from the gaskets. You don't want any leakage going inside. Those are not good signs. All these are bad signs. Okay, the mirrors make sure you always have good mirrors. Now these are set up for see the wires on there. They're heated mirrors. They've told me that that's going to work even in the winter, or even, I'm not in the north, but they said even if you're not in the north, that's going to come in handy. So far I haven't had to use it, but that's something you might want to consider. But I say, watch your windows. And now I got this bus, came right off of a route. So in other words, it was running on a route on Friday, and I bought it on a Tuesday. So it's basically, you see all the windows are all in good shape, and so that's pretty much holding up. And I say diesel right here. I prefer diesel because I believe I'm always going to be able to get diesel. There's less, if the engine is running good, there's less upkeep on a diesel, the way I understand so far. And if semis are going to have their fuel, that means I'm going to have my fuel. And Okay. Let's see. Now another thing, talking about the rust. You get up underneath and you watch for rust. See what kind of rust there is. And you see there is no rust. As you can see here, we've got these steel I-beams going across, and I got a Thomas bus, and the reason I got it is above that there's some metal, and on top of that metal there's 3/4 inch plywood, and so this way anything I put on the inside I can just screw right on down. The Bluebirds, the ones that I saw anyway, had metal bottoms, and so they were you have to run a bolt down through there if you wanted to bolt something down to the floor. But like I say, you watch and you look for any kind of rust. That's what you're looking for, is rust. And you see there's a little bit of rust over there. So there is still some rust. I still need to get under here. As I say, it's winter time, so I haven't been able to get under here real good and wash all this stuff out. But to get a good look on what I have. Okay, this is the rear axle, and you can see there's no oil leaks. And when I took it in, I had them check the oil in it and see if it was still good and all this kind of stuff, and it was good. Now I have regular hydraulic brakes. There's no, I don't have air brakes. Air brakes more maintenance, and I've heard different things. One, they said you have to have a CDL to drive them with air brakes, but I don't think that's necessary if it's a private vehicle. But at the same time, there is more maintenance, and you have to worry about them freezing and this kind of stuff. So that's why I don't feel too bad about not having air brakes. But you check all this stuff. You check the U-joints. Right there, you check all the U-joints. And the way you check those is you just take them and you twist them real good. Let's see, where do you got it? Yeah, you twist them and jerk them around and make sure there's no play in it. And then the same thing with the carrier bearing. Now this carrier bearing's got a little bit of play in it, so I need to replace that. But that's something I can do. And like I said, there's more U-joints that you need to be concerned about. Make sure they're greased up right and this kind of stuff. Look at your mufflers, make sure they're not rusted out, and this type of stuff. And there you can still see the bottom here. See, I still need to clean it up real good. I need to wash it real good. I don't have any cabinets. You'll see some of the buses got carrying compartments on the side, like right there. Now this doesn't. It has room for them, but like I say, that's something that you pay for. So you know, whatever your so whatever it is that you're getting into, you got to realize you're going to pay for it. So the ones with the compartments are going to cost a little extra, and you pay for all these different additives that they put on these things. Okay, now right here you can see there's some oil leakage. It's not all that bad, but there is some. You see it right there. You see there's a little drip of oil right there. You see the pan is still a little bit wet, so there is a little bit, but it's not that bad. I had a mechanic look at it, and it's just one of these leaks. That's what it is. Now I've got 217,000 miles on this. It's got a Cummins with Alice transmission. There's the transmission right there, back there. That's the transmission. But it's a Cummins, and another reason why I wanted the Cummins is you can replace the cylinder sleeves and make this back to spec. In other words, it'd be back to like a new motor. It's not like you bore it out. You just replace the stuff. Now it's costly. Everything's going to be costly in this thing. And but all these things you have to look at real good and look for anything that's not quite right. On this particular bus, I had to get new motor mounts. It's right up here, yeah. I had to put new motor mounts in the back. The front was still good, but we had to get them in the back. Let's see, I need a new alternator. And let's see, let's see, is that it? No. Right over here. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, right there. That's the emergency brake right there. It's like a brake drum right there, and it's on the drive shaft, and that's what they use for emergency brake. It just latches around the drive shaft, and that's what stops it. And that was non-existent. I mean, it was completely worn out when I got it, so that had to be redone. And as you can see, there's I got some now this is all old leakage right here, all oil leakage along the bottom here, and it's all coming from right up in here, right up in there somewhere is where it's coming. They say, the mechanic told me it was at the front part of the engine, probably the main seal. If it was the back part of the main seal, the motor's not too good. But the front part of the main seal is not, I don't want to say typical, but you'll find that on the Cummings. So you know, it's okay as long as it's not too bad. I'd rather not have any, but like I say, you have to decide which ones you want to live with and which not. And when I first got this bus, I wasn't planning on using it that much. I really wanted it for storage, and that's about all. But after I got it, I've enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoy it. It's not that easy to drive around, but it is fun to drive around. Now this is the other side of the engine, and you can see there's some oil leak. But it's not so much that it's just dripping down. You see, I've parked here for 3 days now, and there's no oil on the ground at all, so it's not like it's really dripping out. But you do have to look at everything. You see, it's been repaired right there. Yeah, it's been repaired right there at one time. So these are all the little things you need to watch for when you're looking at a bus. So make sure you crawl under there. You have somebody to help you look and see what it is that you're looking at, and know what you're getting into once you decide if you want to get a bus. Yeah, now this is the other side of the engine. You can see there has been some oil leak. You're not going to find any of these that are in perfect condition. You just have to figure out what it is that you're willing to get involved in. The steering was in good shape, so I know I didn't have to spend anything on steering. But like I say, it still needs the good cleaning, and I'm going to have to wait for the good weather before that comes up. Now what I have here is a 97 Thomas bus, school bus. It's the mechanical, last year they made mechanical school buses. In other words, it's not computerized. The engine is not computerized where, you know, if something happens, it'll kick itself off. This will not do that. That's why I need to watch the gauges, and when I see something going down, like temperature or oil pressure and this type of stuff, I know there's something wrong with the bus, because it's not going to automatically do anything. So these are things you have to consider when you're getting your bus. And I'm getting 7 miles. You can pretty much count on 7 miles to a gallon. I've been able to, normally I'll get 7.3 and 7.5 running 55 to 60 miles an hour. It rides like, well, I've never drove a school bus, so, but anytime you get dips in the road, you can tell. I mean, I don't want it to go 75, 80 miles an hour. It'd be a kind of a hairy ride when you start hitting some weavy roads, or up and down, or skinny roads where one wheel will get off to the side. I mean, that when it gets off on the side like that, off on the shoulder, it tends to be a little difficult to control, but that's why you want to keep it at the slower speeds. That's what I was talking about. A lot of times they'll have compartments down here on the side, Those are good, but these are all things that raise the price of the bus. And you'll find those more in activity type buses. And now I don't know for a fact, but I think when you get the activity type buses, I think the gearing is different on the rear axle. So you may be able to go a little faster or maybe able to get better gas mileage. But there's different things you need to consider when you're looking at a school bus or when you're thinking about buying a school bus. You need to figure out why it is that you want it and what you're going to do with it. But I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. You're really going to enjoy it. I've had so much fun with it. Now I spend a lot of time in it, but you got to remember I'm kind of homeless, so I spend a lot of time in there, and now I'm feeling real comfortable in it. And now in my particular case, what I've done is I've put, don't let all this wiring scare you. After you get it and you get some chance to play with it and stuff, you'll see that it's got all the instructions. It tells you what the wiring is, and you'll figure it out. And I even put an alarm system in here. Well, this is one of them. I've got more than one. But even that alarm system still took me maybe a couple, 2 or 3 hours to put it in. And it's kind of fun too. So. And I say so. I've got I've put numerous hours in. I really can't tell how much. A lot of it was my own personal discretion, but it took me 1 week to really do the major part of everything. The rest of the time I've just been tweaking on it, getting it ready here and there, and making it more homey for me. Because of my lifestyle, personal security is really important to me, so one of the things I've done was put an alarm system in it, and it's pretty cool. This is one of different types of alarms that I have in here. Some are mechanical, some are electronic, such as this one, and but like I say, it is kind of neat to know that I'm able to secure my bus. One thing I put in here was a lock. One of the locks is here on the outside. That's really helpful on getting it. But another thing you need to watch for is the rust along the bottom. You'll see I don't have any rust here. It's pretty good right here. There's a little bit it's trying to, but mostly it's in pretty good shape. Not much rust, but you'll see it also on the inside. You need to watch for rust. You can tell this has got plywood. It's got a 3/4 inch plywood is right in there. You can't see it. I got insulation. I got foam for the carpeting and the floor. But right here is a metal piece that's protecting the edge of that plywood. And so this, at a glance, you can see and you can tell that there is plywood on the flooring on this bus. Okay, this is the top hatch. It had an emergency hatch, and what I did is I took it off. I put plexiglass in, and this was able to let more light come inside here. It worked very, very good. And I say this is the way I set it up. And then at the same time, I got another one with plywood. It's the same thing. I got the plywood that I can take the plexiglass off and put plywood on there instead. And I used this is the insulation around pipe insulation. I think it's a 1/2 inch pipe is what it was, and it's styrofoam like that. And I just splits apart, and I just put it all the way around, and that's what I've used to seal it off. And then I use plywood when I want it really secure, but like this, I'm able to get some light in here. One of the biggest comments I've had on people when they come in the bus and look is the PVC that I've used. I've just bent it, and I'm able to put curtains on there, or like I say, use the hanger on there. And I've been able to even use it for to protect my wiring for the CB. But like I say, all this, I got it for it's temporary, and I can slide it. See, it's just in there loose. It's just the pressure of the bend is the only thing that holds it, and this way I can slide it down to however much I want to do this. Because like I say, it's the same thing. I can bring it all the way down and bring it all the way over here to here, and then it'll just be the tough front part will be seen from the outside if I choose to seal off the back side. Like I say, the panel here, it's easy. You can just pop that off like that if you want to get inside to do anything in there. And what I've done, you can see from my alarm, and that's really good. It's a nice bright light, and it flashes. There you go. Now it tells you it's armed, and you'll see it at night. It lights up this whole front end, so everybody knows it's got an alarm in it. And that was easy. It's plastic. It's easy to drill in, and you know, no problems on that. I've been doing some wiring. As you can see, I put 120 wiring in here. Let's see, there it is right there. Yeah, I got the 120 wiring in here. Alright, now I've got the seat out. I'm getting it reupholstered, and so that's going. I'm able to, this is how you get into the engine. The engine compartment is right in here. Let's see. It's easy enough right here. You can just flip up this front part so you can check the oil and all that stuff. You don't need to lift the whole thing up. I put a sink in, and it's gravity fed. The water's up here, and then you just open the valve like that and run it down. You can also have it, and I did have it originally, I had it turned around the other way. The hose ran down here and hooked it up to the faucet. The only problem with the faucet, there's a little bit of water coming down. That's no problem. The problem is it was freezing, because like I say, I'm still not living in this thing. I'm just preparing it, and that was too cold, so I hated to leave the water in there. So that's why I redone it like this, so then I can just let the water out. Underneath, you can see I got the electric outlet. Now this is a good light. That light really lights up this place at night, and you don't need a whole lighting system. And then right in here I got another I say 5-gallon bucket for the drain water, and then 1-gallon drinking waters I have set back there. I've got a 12-volt system that I have set here. And when I need it, I can just plug it in right here. It stays hot. I got it set so it stays hot all the time. So that's why I don't have anything plugged in. And when I do plug it in, this thing here lights up blue, so it gives me some more lighting too.